Hi my dears, I am Yelena and we continue talking about dating Ukrainian lady, and today I prepared a video for you about 9 mistakes that can ruin your relationships from the very beginning. So subscribe to our channel to get even more valuable content and information. Like and comment. I'm always happy to know your feedback. New relationships are a new life, new experiences, new hopes and emotions. But not all people know how to behave at the beginning of a relationship with Ukrainian lady. What you can or can't say, especially in our Ukrainian culture, what you can do and what can't. At the same time, each of the partners tries to show themselves from the better side, leaving behind their inferior qualities and learn about each other as much as possible on the first day. However, we are arranged in such a way that love captures us so much and we forget about the rules at the beginning and non-observance, or which can lead to the quickest end of these relationships. So let's start. Mistake number 1. Artificial behavior. At the stage of acquaintance and the following meetings, the most important is a natural and even somewhat spontaneous behavior. If you wanting to make the best impression, begin to behave artificially, then either the woman notices and becomes disappointed, or the relationships are started but initially turn into a theater, and the performance in the theater usually ends after the second or third act. But most importantly, that energy flows which naturally feed the developing feelings are blocked by artificial behavior. Be yourself, so you will soon understand if a person is yours or not. If not, why would you waste your time? You wouldn't find love and happiness in such a relationship. The most famous types of artificial behavior include faked image, faked indifference, disarming sexuality, etc. Mistake number 2. Reckless hyperactivity lies in incredible haste and activity of a woman at the stage of acquaintance, and men too. Men often without knowing themselves begin to rush the things and sometimes show themselves as a leader. Lady can send you many text messages, many SMS, etc. The fact is that dynamics of inclusion in relations between women and men are different. Feelings of a woman develop more rapidly, and a man's assimilation of what is happening to him is slow and can be late. Only men with a pronounced feminine origin, which later appear as infantile, the intensity of the dynamics coincides with the woman's, and their passion grows in unison. Mistake number 3. She must. The image of a perfect woman can destroy the real meeting and date. It's important to understand that people are not perfect and be ready to accept some different traits in the other person too. Of course, if they are not so critically different from what you have expected. Do not be too dependent on her. Live your own life and enjoy it. If you are only dating, do not be too requiring towards her behavior. Mistake number 4. Jealousy as a manipulation. A man starts provoking his partner with jealousy. Don't do it ever. At the beginning of a relationship, it can be cute and even funny, but it can also frighten off your girlfriend, and it's likely that she will start treating you appropriately. As a result, she will refuse to meet you, trying to reduce your communication to a minimum. By the way, men with low self-esteem often use manipulating jealousy. Mistake number 5. Demonstration of love. The man begins to hyperactively admire the partner, thereby demonstrating full readiness for relationship. With such behavior, you show your lightheadedness and frivolity. If you want a woman to lose her interest in you quickly, fall in love with her at the first meeting and start immediately showing your feelings. If she is self-confident, she will stop responding to your calls at the nearest future. So by such behavior you interrupt the natural process of forming her interest in you. A psychologically mature man, more or less, but necessarily feels the need to show himself, to demonstrate and prove what he is capable of, to impress the woman, and only then the taste of conquering her interest will grow into pleasure from her praise. Mistake number 6. Excessive talkativeness. The man immediately begins to talk everything about himself, how he was sick, how many girls he had in his life, how he slept with a girlfriend of his friend, and so on, how he was not lucky with ex. Who told you that the woman on the first night feels the need for your emotional striptease? Sincerity is one of the best qualities and the most important component of close relationships, but while they are not yet, do not scare sexy Ukrainian women away at the stage of creating the first impression of you. Mistake number 7. Emotional instability. A man who has not got a woman's attention for a long time sharply reacts to it if it happens in his life. Therefore, unconsciously tries to attach to the source of positive emotions in order to obtain the necessary full attention. You can call this state an emotional deficiency. In the end, it turns out that during the period of saturation, he feels the need to take and everything isn't enough for him. By the way, many in this state do not have the function to give. Such a feeling is missing. The same can happen to a woman when during her saturation she loses her sense of proportion. She starts demanding more. Calls, words, communication, understanding, care, emotions. Without getting the desired, the woman provokes scandals, quarrels, hysterics, then she apologizes and then again arranges drama, and so on, until a man will get bored of her. As a result, the man disappears. Therefore, if in your life there was not enough female attention recently, after starting to date, here is another relationship advice for you. Hide away your spoon, which you prepare to eat the woman's emotions, and take a teaspoon instead of it. Do not rush and do not rush your partner, and gradually your emotional sphere will be full. Mistake number 8. Wedding, honeymoon on the islands, 2 children, etc. All women really want to get married. This is a proven and unconscionable fact. A man needs time to prepare himself for this, be completely confident in his partner, in himself, etc. This is normal. However, some men try to show their seriousness already at the initial terms of relationship. Discussing the theme of the wedding and future children, you seem to give a hope to a girl, and she will be waiting for an offer to marry in the near future. Do not make this mistake. In addition, if the girl is serious, she will not believe your words, and in her eyes, you will look just a liar. Mistake number 9. Past relationships. For the early period of the relationships, this topic is taboo. Even if she asks, she doesn't do it because she wants to know the truth. You too sometimes ask very interesting questions without even thinking about how pleasant it will be for you to hear the answer. If she still asks you about your past relationship so that you do not make another mistake at the beginning of your relationship, do not tell her about every girl you had before. Just name a few, and the most important thing is to tell her why they ended. You need to find a neutral reason for parting, and that's all. I hope this video was really useful for you, and your next first dates will be just perfect, leading to big love and happiness. See you soon! Subscribe our channel and follow us to enjoy and know many other useful tips of advice about dating a Ukrainian woman. Bye bye!